Oh hi, I enrolled at NTNU. I had to choose between regular and intensive class. And the very next day, school started. We needed a lot more than 3 hours a day just to keep up.
The last 3 weeks have been hard.
So I decided I'm going back to intensive class. Everything else can wait. I will do whatever it takes. I'm learning motherfucking Chinese. The course took an emotional toll on me and most of my classmates. The fast pace and the constant testing would simply remind me how bad I'm doing all the time. Tests are a good way to measure how well you're doing, and in this course they also determine who goes up a level next term. For me, that just made me feel shit about myself. So, for about a month, I was thinking about quitting almost every day. Some days were better, but only better in the sense that I wasn't going to quit. Basically, every time I took an exam, I felt that, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing well enough. I don't test well. The stress was just making me do worse than I do in class, do worse than I do outside of class, and generally just break my spirit. Since I was only going to do one term, after a couple of months, I decided I'm done with tests and even skipped the final exam. Suddenly, I could smile again, sleep better, and even relax in class. I realized I can be behind sometimes. But how did the rest of my classmates feel about all this?
I was unemployed, so I had plenty of time and wanted to hit the ground running and thought 3 hours a day, perfect. That's a good amount of time. I'll still have plenty of time to explore, settle into Taiwan.
What it actually became like was just every day was consumed by Mandarin.
I wish I knew that I have to give up my weekends and my evenings and almost all the social life.
I didn't expect to have to spend maybe 4, 5, 6 hours per day.
Yeah, every day was just sort of centred around how to fit in, learning all the vocab, doing the workbook, listening to the dialogue, emotional support from a fellow student.
I wish I knew that before signing up for that, but I don't forget.
I don't regret choosing intensive because if I hadn't chosen intensive, then I wouldn't have met you. We wouldn't have had Li Lao Shi.
What did you think of the teachings of Li Lao Shi?
She is very strict in some aspects and also very open and very available for us as well if we have any questions, even if it's late at night or at the weekend. She's really available. The method that she uses, not making us learn the words and their translations and putting all the words into context, all the PowerPoints that she's done over the last few weeks, I mean, they're really good.
Her slideshows are impeccable. I've not seen anything like this. The corporate world should take a note from Li Lao Shi.
Yes, and I come out of the class having a lot more knowledge than if it was with another, maybe more traditional teacher.
At the beginning we had tests like twice a week.
Almost every day, really.
Yeah, it's so funny how much you care about the test results, even though for me it didn't actually matter, yet I cared so much about the result, and then you put loads of pressure on yourself.
Maybe you have the misunderstood with teachers, but teachers hate tests, remember. Teacher really hate tests. In his class, maybe cannot make sure all the students can understand one lesson in 9 to 12 hours. I put the pressures on me, and then sometimes I think I spread the pressure to my students, so I'm really sorry for this.
It really feels rubbish when you spend 2 hours in the classroom and you feel like you're the worst.
You're the worst person in class. Welcome to my world!
Learning something new, you have to be able to tolerate being bad at something for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like now, every day I go to class and I feel so bad.
Yeah.
I just know that I'm really bad, but that is part of the
It's part of the process.
It's part of the process.
And the intensive class cannot help, but this is our job.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to quit almost every week.
Yeah, so that's why I feel nervous, but I just keep saying, 加油, cheer up, don't give up. I didn't give up, you cannot give up.
I swear that we just rotate between one of us wanting to jump off the ledge and the other one talking the other one down.
Oh.
It was almost every other day. I'd be like, I can't do this, it's too hard. And the other person would be like, no, you've got this, it's amazing you're even showing up.
My friends had some really good tips on how to improve your Chinese learning experience, especially in this course, which heavily emphasizes reading and writing skills more than anything else. I have summarized them for you because this video is honestly getting quite long. Number 1, remember why you're learning Chinese. This class could really make you concentrate on reading and writing, but often you will benefit a lot more from practicing conversation skills, speaking and listening. So try to resist the temptation to continuously write characters.
I think what I've noticed and what I hear from a lot of people is that people who do really well, like in the grades at Shida, when they come to the outside world, they don't speak. It's this listening and speaking is just
way more important.
important.
Number 2, use the dialogue recordings you get in class to practice listening to Chinese at home. Listen to these recordings again and again until you can understand everything without having to rewind. If you don't have access to such recordings, pick up a Chinese language learning podcast and something similar and use that instead. And then you can try and practice saying them out loud, which brings me to number 3. Practice saying full sentences out loud to train your mouth to say the words fluently.
Making your mouth move and like forming those sounds, moving your tongue in weird places that we wouldn't normally do. Like that, you really have to train your mouth muscles, even your vocal cords, like you would going to the gym.
And through practice and repetition, these words will come out more naturally, and you won't have to think about the words as you say them anymore. Number 4, don't learn words in isolation.
The worst method would be just to learn one word and its translation and just repeat them one by one. I think that's the worst, because then Chinese being Chinese, you need context, you need to understand what's being said, and some words can mean a lot of different things. So if you just learn one translation for one word, then I think it's more confusing in the end.
Chinese is a very contextual language, and words will continually reappear with different meanings. So learning a new word as part of a sentence is essential. And finally, number 5, the intensive class is much more suited for people who need to learn Chinese as fast as possible, and also possess the necessary ability to learn 4 different skills at the same time: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Even my classmate Mark, who has been learning languages for many years now, has struggled with the intensity of this class.
Will you continue an intensive class in the next term?
No way, no. Definitely not, no.
Now we've signed up for the regular class, which is only 2 hours a day. True to form, I've already cried in the bathroom post-class.
If I were the student, I would choose the regular class, and then no need to think. If you already decide to stay here for over 1 year, take your time, travel again.
This is probably the hardest thing I've done in my life. 3 months of non-stop studying, exams, and emotionally draining debates with myself, my classmates, and my boyfriend, always questioning whether I'm good enough or if it's all even worth it. It probably would have been easier to do the regular class, but honestly, I wouldn't trade that experience. Nowadays, I can go out into the world and confidently practice Chinese, and I found really good methods of learning on my own. So thank you guys for joining me on this journey, and hope to see you on the next one. 谢谢，再见。